Y'all know what it is. It's the usual suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pot. Cash App, $, usual 50-50. Tickets are on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be sent. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshit on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBDC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBDC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Y'all know what it is. It's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has a missing boxer inside. Purchase your box or boxes by Cash Apping, $, usual 50-50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20, with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBDC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBDC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
swagger's grooming products for you, just so natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be your swagger, your style, class, and luxury. We make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah, so get in style with the black, yeah. Grooming company, to give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. Black gentleman, yeah. Company, to give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com. Yo. What's good? It's STORMYBMAN, and I am back. Welcoming you to Nerds on Culture with STORMYBMAN for this Monday, July 14th, 2025. This is number 127 in the series of Nerds, and we're talking this evening of Unforgiven. DC cancels Black Adam versus Superman, as they also did Green Lantern versus Sinestro. It is more of the same when we talk about DC and where they have taken one step forward and 3 to 4 steps backwards. And even with the latest fare that they have that's been released, Superman, we're seeing that they are just missing the mark. So we thought we'd come in this evening and talk about this a little bit more in detail. You've heard us gripe about it, and I do believe there are more ears that are hearing what we have to say, and many who share the same sentiments. If you happen to be a nerd and like these comics and graphics and the live action renderings of such, you can't be totally pleased with what the Hollywood studios have been doing with our IP. So we're here to talk about that a little bit more this evening. I want to say greetings to everybody that's out there. Also, we're going to introduce my partner in crime. Drew Titan is in the building with me this evening. What's going on with you, man? What's going on?
Yes, sir. I've been looking to get at this for a while, and we're being nice with just these two. You know, we've been left hanging, you know, just overall, you know, the movies in general. I know we did a show on sequels that we could have liked to have seen, but this is not that. This is them just completely, as they say in the UK, losing the plot. They lost the plot and just left us hanging for us to figure it out on our own, and it's very disrespectful. And we got a lot of smoke for the directors, the writers, and just overall in Hollywood. And it leaves us asking, what the hell's really going on when you got such a good thing, a potential great thing, and it just falls apart? What happened? Gives me reasonable cause to believe that it's something else. But we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, what I wanted to do is take us back a little bit to 1998. And though it's not a DC film, it is something that is definitely of the ilk of what we're talking about, just to keep the audience abreast on what we've gone through. Back in 98, New Line Cinema released Blade, and it was the first comic book film in live action that moved audiences, so to speak. We had an opportunity to see stuff like Spawn, which was kind of okay, but it wasn't like Mr. McFarlane had really intended Spawn to be, because his take on Spawn and the character that he created, if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me when I say this, but I believe that character, there was a great deal more violence, a great deal more of the battle between good and evil, meaning that Spawn being a hell spawn, that you had the darkness of the dark side of death and what comes in the afterlife or whatever like that, and him being brought back from that situation, he brought hell with him, you know. So that character, if you guys saw, what was it, the HBO series of Todd
That was
McFarlane's
comic book accurate, 100%.
Yeah. So we were introduced slowly to a turning the corner of these films. But why I mentioned Blade, because a lot of people don't know this, but if you're a nerd, you may be aware of this, and it's great if you are, and you know, we're just going to be rekindling. Blade kind of knocked our socks off at the box office, but what we didn't know that came years later, because the internet and stuff like that, the internet wasn't around to the extent like what we have today when Blade came out, but there was something called a deleted scene. And in that deleted scene, Blade, as the film was coming to an end, was about to go on and send the lovely, what's her name?
I forget her name.
Mbishi Wright. He was going to send her on her way, send her off to work on supplying him with more serum and everything. But just as the credits were about to roll, off into the distance, when she looked beyond his shoulder as she was standing on the rooftop talking to Blade, he turns and he sees this figure off in the distance.
That's right.
And it turned out that we would find out that this was supposed to be the first live action rendition of Morbius.
Morbius, yeah.
A villain that has crossed paths with not only Blade, but Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And you see the possibilities here, because he did cross paths with both Spider-Man and Blade, and this was Blade's movie. You had to figure that Spider-Man was coming soon.
Right.
Right. So this was the whole thing to kick things off. And remember, this was New Line Cinema. It was no Marvel Comics.
That's right.
You know, on film at this particular time. It was just the Marvel comic graphics, the comic books, but not in the film studios. In fact, they had sold away a lot of their IPs because they were going bankrupt.
Yep.
One of the IPs they had sold was the Fantastic Four. Another was Spider-Man. Another was the X-Men. Another was Namor, the Submariner, and the Incredible Hulk. So these IPs went out to these different film studios: Sony, New Line, Universal, and Fox Studios. So Blade hit the jackpot. And if you remember the Blade film, when it did its opening credits and introduction, it had the nice little music riff playing and everything, and had Blade sharpening up his weapons in the dimly blue lit black light setting, but no opening Marvel scroll or anything like that. That would come later on the sequel. But what was really interesting, and the reason, like what we're saying here, is the source material and how things get canceled out and never revisited. Now, there were 2 Blade sequels, but amazingly, we never saw Morbius. But I want people to know that this robbing us is nothing new. And to give you a little bit of backdrop on this, it says in the original 1998 Blade movie, there was a deleted scene that featured a figure resembling Morbius. Though it wasn't a fully realized version of the character, this figure, seen in the distance, was portrayed by director Stephen Norton and was meant to be an Easter egg hinting at a potential larger role for Morbius in the sequel. The idea was dropped when Guillermo del Toro took over directing duties for Blade 2. The breakdown is a short scene at the end of the first Blade movie shows a figure in a long coat and a scarf resembling Morbius standing on a rooftop. The figure was played by the film's director and was intended as a subtle nod to the character Morbius, and the scene was meant to hint at him as a potential villain in the sequel. Yeah, so when we talk about these things, think about what gets left on the cutting room floor and what doesn't make it into the film, as opposed to what does make it into the film, and then how we are dejected after not receiving what we had highly anticipated. So it's just, open for conversation there when we talk about these things. And Drew, what you got anything else to say about this before we move on?
Yeah, that deleted scene pissed me off, and I'm glad they didn't have that in the movies where I could see it, because I would have been looking for it.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say about that. When I saw that, I was like, "Yo, come on!" I was aggravated, and these deleted scenes will leave you aggravated. I'm a nerd, man. When you can go to a movie and you could say, "Hey, man, they could do this," and I remember in the book they did this, and you could do that, and they do nothing. They leave you with these stupid cliffhangers that don't even make sense. They don't go anywhere. And then what's worse is when they're not true to the book. You mentioned Spawn. The animated Spawn series on HBO was so that was great. That wasn't good. It was great. Shout out to Todd McFarlane. The movie, I went to go see it because it was Spawn and they were doing new things with CGI, but it was a clown movie. It was still what was it, rated PG-13 a bit, but the casting was all wrong, and I guess it was a rendition for its time. But again, there was Easter eggs in that film. But you know what it was with that film? They put it out. I went to go see it. I supported it, and I could have did without the sequel, because going back and watching it now, it was bad. And salute to Michael Jai White, but there was characters in there that was supposed to be lined up for the sequel. When the girl died, did y'all look at her earrings? Did y'all see that? You probably missed it. I said, "Oh, they're gonna bring her back in the sequel." I said, "Man, do I want a sequel of this?" And thank you for not doing it. I heard they were supposed to be remaking it. You got to get it right. Spawn is a dark series, very dark, a very dark series. But I mean, look, when you're not true to the source material, you get disgruntled nerds like us to call you out on it. Now, I want to talk about this Green Lantern and Sinestro thing. All right, now, he clowns this movie himself. Let's just call it what it is. He clowns this movie. To me, the movie wasn't horrible. It was bad, but it wasn't horrible. But the end, when Sinestro gets a hold of the yellow ring, I'm like, okay, maybe they'll get it right the second time. That part right there. And they nailed that Sinestro, by the way.
Man, Mark Strong, he has played a villain in about 3 different DC films. He played Sinestro, then he played the guy in Shazam, and then he played in what was the other film? He played another villain. He's played like 3 villains in the DC universe of movies, but this was him right here. If I would have loved to have seen them do a Green Lantern sequel and bring Sinestro back, because that is the guy that could have gone head up with Green Lantern, and Green Lantern would have had to get the corpse to come in and help him, because Sinestro was a leader in the Green Lantern Corps and was one of the ones who trained people and everything. Yeah. So not only was he like that, what do you want to call it, in military ranking, what's the highest rank?
Admiral?
He's an admiral, and the rest of the guys are in pecking orders under him. And Sinestro having the courage to forge a yellow ring, and you know he was going to end up starting his own corps. So it's like, dude, that could have went on for forever, right? Because not only, listen, Mark Strong is a good actor too. It's not like you had a rinky-dink guy like the gentleman who just recently passed away, who played Dr. Doom in the Fox Fantastic Four films.
Yeah.
Though he was an okay actor, but he kind of didn't fit that to me. But when you think about Mark Strong, this guy could have been something else. And when you got a solid villain, it could carry a film. Look at Thor, when he had Loki opposite Thor. You know, when you got someone like that, it could really carry. So I look so forward to this, and then they just left it in the dumpster, man. And I'm like, okay, but have we not, Drew and chat, seen films worse than this get a sequel?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the sequel we could have did without? I know there was a large gap in between 2 movies, but Escape from LA, that was a sequel from Escape from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Could have did
Nemesis.
Yeah, Nemesis.
Films like that. Of course, if you want to get into the horror genre and everything, but we're talking about, I mean, Conan. I would have rather they made no sequels than the ones that they made.
That Conan the Destroyer, really, if you watch the movies, ladies and gentlemen, Conan, the first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then Conan the Destroyer, it's like 2 different films, man.
From 2 different universes, you know?
Yeah, because it went from a real in-depth comic book-esque Conan the Barbarian film to the sequel. It turned into the 1960s Batman. You know, it's like, oh man, what are they doing here? And they really do think that we loved Arnold so much, we just in awe to see him running around in his drawers. Nah, man, you got to respect me, man. Give me some storyline.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate Grace Jones, though. Salute to her. She was hot.
Well, I guess she was so hot that Roger Ebert of the famed Siskel and Ebert at the movies TV show that used to review films all the time. Yes. I'll never forget his film review of Conan the Destroyer. And though he crapped on it and talked about how horribly short of the first film it fell, he horribly made the mistaken comment saying that one thing that could have roused his interest, which was a strange choice of words, would have been to see a relationship between Conan and Grace Jones's character.
Why would he say that?
Dude, he was a freak. It was like, I'm like,
bruh. Oh shit. He said that?
He said that. I'll never forget it, bro.
Oh.
You know, because Cisco and Ebert were here in Chicago.
Yeah, they were based out of Chicago.
They were like on every other weekend or whatever with that damn TV show. And I happened to watch that review. I never forgot it. I'm like, why would he say that? Anyway, so yeah, you know, I'm like, really? Come on, man. Anyway.
Well, Roger Moore, when he played James Bond, he did have a scene with her. I saw that in the theaters. I was like, well, I knew it. I knew he was going to blast her. James Bond gets all the tail.
Man, it was just one of the weirdest things. But I talked about the fact that I would have really loved to have seen a sequel to Green Lantern, because I thought that allowing Sinestro to be a part of that going forward would have been great. That would have been something. And I believe playing opposite Mark Strong again would have elevated Ryan Reynolds, because this was in the heyday of Ryan Reynolds rom-coms that he was making and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I felt like he could have been a better Hal Jordan than the film opened with. But I do believe that they didn't have people on the staff that could reign. See, this is the thing. Green Lantern had never been done, right, in live action. They had enough of CGI capability, because if you look at Kilowog, how he looked great in the movie, actually, for a mythical character that off the pages of the comics, he looked pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And the fact that it would take place in space, there was a lot you could do with that, just like what George Lucas did with Star Wars, because you can make it up as you go, because it's off-world. I think where they messed up with was trying to keep him on world, you know, and that was the thing. And then their recreation of the Fantastic Four's version of Galactus with the Cloud Beast at the end of the film.
Bro.
Did you see that and think about Fox's Fantastic Four with the same Cloud Beast? I was like, he's doing the same thing that the Fantastic Four was doing, which that immediately takes you out of the movie. It's like, wait, I just saw this.
Bro. I'm getting mad all over again. Bro, when I went and saw that, and the real Galactus with the purple helmet never showed up, I'm literally in the theater like this. And I'm looking at my watch, I'm like, yo, is this over? You know, I hated that film, Rise of the Silver Surfer. The only thing they do nowadays, and this is how stupid they think we are. All we need to do is just nail the look on the characters in certain situations. It's a superhero movie. These guys, they're stupid. They'll just come and pay their money. And as long as they're seeing their childhood on the silver screen, that's all we need. We don't need storyline. We could just do whatever the hell we want. And they got us 3 times with a Fantastic Four film. Now, we'll say this. The first one, they tried really hard. I saw it and I tolerated it. Rise of the Silver Surfer, they nailed Norrin Rad, but it was a bad film. It was a bad film. The remix, the Fantastic Four remix, and when they doing all this dimension crossing, I hope that's one of the dimensions that just eats it and dies. Because, you know, Johnny Storm isn't black. Stop doing this to me. Stop gender switching.
Sue Storm is not a Latina either.
She's not. Stop gender swapping and race swapping these cats. Leave it alone. The work is done already. Yo, Spawn, the cartoon series on HBO, they nailed it perfectly. There was no excuse for them to remix everything by the time they brought it to the silver screen. They didn't need to do that. Why do you guys do that? And then when you try, when you come close to getting it right, you put your little twist, too much comedy. I gotta go back to Thor: Love and Thunder. Why the hell is there a dumpling god? A dumpling god? Y'all saw that? That little shit in the spoon, pow, pow, pow. I said, yo, I couldn't wait for that shit, man. I couldn't wait for that film to be over. And don't look now. Pump your brakes on the character Hercules. Do you know why? They done woked him to death. You know, all of that, you know, broken wrists, a lot of that comes from Greece. Word on the street is, in the comic books, Hercules is bisexual. Now, I've been out the loop for a while, but I believe it. I believe it. So if they bring him back to the MCU and he makes a pass at Thor or something crazy, don't be surprised. That's all Miguel and his people need to hear. Oh, he's bisexual? Oh, let's do a little something with that. Look,
now watch this.
Mm-hmm.
With what's going to transpire with the Fantastic Four coming into the 616 and the Doomsday and Secret Wars, are we going to see Mr. Tennock, who plays Namor, go after old girl who's Sue Storm? You know, because that's the thing in the comics.
It happened in the comic, yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder, are they going to let that go down? Because since they want to be so woke, you know, Namor was sweeping Sue Storm off her feet, and she was kind of rolling with it. And if you look at this girl that they got playing Sue Storm, now she's one of them Miss Untouchables, if you understand what I'm saying. Huh?
I do what I want. You don't tell me what to do. Where's my button?
Whatever, I do what I want.
Listen, man.
I'm concerned about this film, Stormy. I really am, bro.
They can't stop themselves. We're watching Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Oh my God.
And then with, what's her name? Kamala. What's the girl's name? The one who can jump the universes?
Oh, America Chavez.
America Chavez. I'm sorry. Kamala is the Indian girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get them mixed up. America Chavez. Everything was cool till you saw that little rainbow on the lapel of her jacket.
I saw it as soon as the movie started, and I was with my wife, and I said, "Whoa!" And she said, "What?" I said, "You ain't see that?" She said, "What?" I said, "Nothing." Then sometime later, it was on the jacket. I said, "Look, look, look, look." And she said, "Oh no." I said, "Babe, no." I said, "They're going there." And 20 minutes later in the film, they go to her dimension. Who's that? My two moms. Listen, man. All right. You know I ain't got to go watch these films, right? And you know there's millions, not thousands, there's millions of people that feel like me. Leave it alone. Yo, listen, I'm going to be very, very clear, too. I don't really care for a love interest in the superhero films. How about that? Heterosexual. I don't care for it.
The superheroes got too much time having super shit to do. You know?
I don't care. Captain America with that thing, that was tolerable. They didn't even harp on that. They didn't harp on it.
That showed the boys and all of that. You see, when those characters was developed and everything, guess what? That was the outlet for all of that stuff, right? Because you bring these characters out, they could be as vile as they want to be. They could be switched genders and all of that kind of stuff. That's original content right there. Why are you turning source material that has been 60, 70 years old into stuff like that? Why?
By the way, Sean in the chat, if they do a God of War movie, you gotta cast Triple H as Kratos. He looks just like him. The acting, I don't know if y'all take him serious, but he looks just like Kratos. Storm, you familiar with God of War?
I've heard of it, but I haven't followed it.
It's a video game, and it's serious. It's serious. It's a damn good story too. And these last games that came out for the PS5, oh man, he offed all the gods, the Greek gods, and then he fights Thor. In the I think the last game he ends up fighting those other gods. But it's a damn good story. He's a fallen Spartan. It's a damn good story. So if they do that, Triple H looks just like Kratos.
Well, I remember they were saying at one time before the Marvel films had introduced Thor that he should play Thor. So I don't know, man. It's like
he got that big European nose.
I want to see, you know, good actors play these roles, but if they're going to be toss away films where you make a mockery of the source material and everything, then I don't even care.
Yeah, true story.
I'm very upset about how they have done these things to us, and it didn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
When we look at like this Green Lantern film we were just talking about, one of the things that people were complaining about was the CGI costume that he wore. Now, just like Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk, I thought that element of video editing that they brought into the film that made it look like comic pages as they switched to scenes, you know, I thought that was very creative. Hadn't seen that before.
Right.
In Green Lantern, his costume being totally CGI, I thought was cool. The reason being is because it's powered by the ring. It's like you could be a guy wearing straight street clothes or whatever, and you activate that ring, it's gonna make you appear to be whatever it is. I thought that was a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
But there were people who didn't like the costume. It was like, oh, it don't look. I thought that it was pretty cool. If you look at the detail in the costume, it's powered by the ring. And then even when he was over there on Ona, the planet, when he woke up after he was brought there or whatever, and he was looking at himself in the reflection and he was trying to figure out how he looked, and then he grabbed the side of his stomach and he pinched it, and he was like, wow, you know, that the ring did all of that. He didn't look like that. The ring made him look like that. And I thought that was a great thing to do. And it's like people crapped on it, but they crapped on the wrong things. Like the dude who ended up being a poor take on the leader, you know, whose head grew and everything. And he could have been handled totally different, and he could have been a more evil, sinister, serious character that would have brought some groundedness to Hal Jordan. But they went for the campy aspect of it, and when you do that, you take us out of the film. You know, could you imagine, like, you're watching Jaws, right? And you know what the shark does to people.
Yeah.
But imagine the shark swimming up, and before he devours a victim or whatever, he starts talking or something. The shark. That's gonna totally take you out of the damn film, right?
You're like, what the fuck?
He's talking. I'm coming to get you. You know, it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, Stormy. We came close to that. I forgot what Jaws this was, but you remember when they were shocking them? I didn't know sharks have a voice.
Wow,
they put something electrical in his mouth, and then they're frying them because they're going to stab him with the boat. And every time they hit the button, Jaws come out the water and start screaming, "Her!" I was like, "That they got voices? They got I was like, man, you know what? I think I'm done with Jaws.
Yeah.
Share the screen real quick before we move forward. That's Triple H. As y'all all know, that's Triple H. That's the wrestler Triple H. And that's Kratos from God of War. I mean, look. I like it. But Triple H is an over-the-top kind of actor. I mean, you could tell he's goofing around, but they look alike. Anyway.
Yeah.
But man, that Fantastic Four pissed me off. Why did they have to make the Silver Surfer a woman in this one, man? This is, man, I hope you get rid of Taskmaster just to give us this. Yeah, stop.
Now, this is what I'm going to say. Since you wanted to show me who Kratos was, this guy can play Kratos. You've seen him before. And it can happen.
Oh, Nathan Jones.
Yep.
And he's been in Hollywood. You know, he's done some acting. He's a big dude too.
He's like 6'8".
He's legit 6'8".
Yep.
He wrestled in the WWE. Had some issues, and then when they traveled to Australia, he just said, "I quit." He stayed home. He's Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's 55 years old now, but he still looks great. He can play these kind of roles.
Yeah, he could pull it off.
You remember him in Troy?
Oh, he ate it.
Yeah.
As soon as the movie started.
And also in Jet Li's Fearless.
Yeah, he was that. He was a wrestler. He was also in
Bach.
He was in the re-release. Well, what was it? A prequel of Mad Max. Fury Road. Yeah. Yeah, Nathan Jones. Yeah, I like that. But my goodness, man. They got walkthroughs on YouTube, you know, of these video games, and playing that game is like watching a movie. I mean, they really nail it with that. The PS5 one, the God of War. When he fights Thor, it's fucking hilarious because he has 2 sons and Kratos kills him. So Thor pays him a visit with the hammer and everything. It's funny as hell. And they gets to fighting. He wanted all the smoke. They knocking over mountains and everything. It's wild.
Now, see what you just said. Knocking over mountains. I want to see our heroes do real heroic shit and be in real perilous circumstances. Like in BVS, Batman versus Superman. Even though they rushed the whole doomsday process and everything, what I did like, because when we first saw him, he just looked like a big old troll or something, right? That's what he looked like.
Right.
But every time he incurred damage, that bone structure started coming out of him. By the time when Kal went to stab him with the kryptonite spear and everything, he was looking like Doomsday from the comics.
Right.
But it was short-lived, you know. When they shot him with the nuke, that helped change him and everything. So, but it was a little bit rushed. Plus, I didn't like, because I remember in the theater when they had killed Superman, I was like, wait a minute. We just had Man of Steel and now he's dead already. You know, I was pissed off. I was like, how they gonna kill Superman? And then when they had the funeral and the last shot was the shot of the coffin, and if you look very closely, it was a quick shot. The dirt started to rise off of the coffin, right? And I was like, what is going on? You know, he's resurrecting. But when the film came out, Justice League, I guess they forgot they shot that or something, because it never picked up from that, right? Did you piece that together?
They're just letting you know that they're not done with Superman. That's how I took it. I was still very annoyed.
I don't like the way they brought him back.
No, it was too fast.
Even in Zack Snyder's version, you know, I don't like the way they brought him back. Personally, I think he should have come back naturally, but it just would have been an extended period of time. Because just like when they shot him and Doomsday in space with the nuke, you know, Doomsday being a morphed version or a zombie-like version of General Zod, because that's basically what he was. He was born of Zod. Cal, when he was nuked in space, remember how he kind of turned almost skeletal-like?
Yes.
And then he came back after a little while because he was out there by the yellow sun, and he came back. I think he still should have come back similarly. You know, he was stabbed with the kryptonite stick, or spear, but when the spear is removed, it's out of his body. So quite naturally, he would regenerate. To me, I mean, plus he had the codex in his body, which means that he's not just himself, but he's all of Krypton's souls and everything. So that's what's supposed to really make him Superman. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was something that Zack Snyder put in that first film, Man of Steel, that I thought was really special, because when Zod and his people came to Earth to come after Cal for the Codex, they didn't know originally that the Codex was inside him, but that's why they shouldn't have been able to really beat him, because he's special.
He's
just not a Kryptonian on Earth under the yellow sun. That gives you powers, but if you got that Codex in you, it gives
a little extra
an edge that the average Kryptonian wouldn't have.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. I mean, if you break it down to its simplest forms, if he was human, the average human, the average in shape man might bench press 190, 200 pounds. But if you have like a Kodak in you and you're like the last man on Earth, that you're naturally benching 500 pounds. You're just naturally stronger. Yeah, I get it. But there were certain things that they left that you drop the ball here, you do something good here, but you neglect this over here. And this is where the nerds come in, because we have a voice. They hear what we talk about. And what frustrates me is, it's like, man, with all this information that they have available, it's like, wow, you can get it right the next time. And then when you just scrap the whole thing and say, the hell with Henry Cavill, and you do this new thing, and they actually went through with it, and you're giving us Crypto the Flying Dog, and Jason Momoa is coming back as Lobo in the Supergirl film. What the hell's going on here?
Well, see, that whole thing that's Zack Snyder. See, Jason Momoa represents something both as a person and as a performer that strikes the ire of James Gunn. He's like a Chris Pratt to James Gunn, and he could do a lot of goofiness with him and everything, but I don't fancy Jason Momoa.
Did you like him as Aquaman?
Huh?
Did you like him as Aquaman?
No.
Me neither.
Because I didn't think that was Aquaman.
No.
Actually, I thought a better cast for Aquaman would have been the guy who ended up playing Aquaman's brother, Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson, yeah.
He would have made a better Aquaman because he's blonde haired and blue eyed. That would have been the perfect Aquaman.
Why would I'm tired of asking why do they do certain things? Because they just do it because they don't like us.
I mean, what do you think? That could have been Aquaman.
When I watched the movie, I was like, hey man, why would you?
Or even the guy who in The Watchmen played Oleanders, what's his name? You know, the guy that was real fast.
In Watchmen?
Yeah. What was that guy's name? The blonde guy. The one they all had to come after at the end.
Yeah, he was the smartest man on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you talking about. Can't think of his name, but he could have played. Come on, bro.
He could have played Aquaman.
Jason, matter of fact, when they casted Jason Momoa as Aquaman, everybody that read about it was like, yo, that's Lobo easy. They were saying that when it happened. They was like, yeah, that's Lobo. What y'all talking about?
Yep.
Well, man, they don't like us, Stormy. They don't like us. They don't. Now, let's talk about this Black Adam film. I know Derek Gaines, the legend, doesn't like it. I liked it. And without getting through all the rigmarole, we were supposed to get a follow-up of what happened when they met at the end. That's all I'm saying.
Whoever put this image together is pretty cool because they captured both of them almost doing the same walk and everything, you know.
Man. Again, man, whether you like the film or not, you didn't want to know what happened between Black Adam and Superman. When he flew in at the very end and stepped out those shadows, the theater erupted. We was like, oh! I was like, yo. And that's as far as it went. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I will never forgive them for this. I will never. Listen, man. Well, I was about to say, what if there was no sequel to Star Wars? But that's impossible. That's a little over the top because they got books and games and all of it is connected. But this right here, you know what this is, y'all? This is you finally getting with that shorty. And as soon as you're in a place where you think you're gonna do the thing, she says, yo, you ain't gonna believe this. That time of the month just happened. I went to the bathroom and she's not lying. You're like, oh, bro, what? What is going on, Ma? What you say?
Let's break this down. The Superman film that's out right now. First of all, he looked like he got on a jumpsuit with a cape, a turtleneck collar, and he put some corduroy underwear over the bottom. I don't know what the hell they were doing, what they were going for. But this Superman suit that Cavill is wearing, if you ask me, the only problem they messed up with this, and believe it when I say what I'm getting ready to say, you may agree, you may not agree, or you may say, I haven't even thought of it that way or whatever. I was okay with him not having the curl because As Superman, his hair looks like slicked back. As Clark, it kind of just looks like he got a hairstyle. Okay, that's cool. And Clark wears the glasses. But the only thing that I think that they did wrong was have the muted color. Because if you saw him on the set, it don't look like that. It looks vibrant like it does in the comics. But they changed the color palette for the film. I think that's the only thing they did wrong. If you would have saw him in the Christopher Reeve-like colors with this suit, I think you would have been fine with it. I think the film would have made more money. I think people would have been even more attracted and lured to him, because everything else Zach did regarding this was on point. His costume has like the blue portion of the suit is like Kryptonian underwear. We call him a man who flies around in underwear.
Yeah.
The fact that there's no pants, underwear on there, it's okay because it's an undergarment. And we saw when his dad was fighting Zod back on Krypton, he put on some armor before he got ready to fight Zod, and Zod was already wearing armor, remember?
Yes.
So that is legitimately underwear. The chest piece that we call a S is a script
symbol
that's supposed to mean hope. But if you look at the fine detail of it, there's glyphs throughout the script that spell out words or something. And it's like they actually did that when they were making the film. They put all that together to mean something. It had a symmetry and everything to it. But I believe that the suit, the color palette being muted affected it. Now, the Rock's suit was a different type of suit made. The material that they put on the Rock's suit wasn't like anything else, a costume that other heroes had worn in movies. They found something that was similar to like what the people of that age, where the guy who became the Black Adam, I forget what they were called. The people of that ancient time
race, yeah.
But their clothing was like, it was real lightweight material. It looked like robes and stuff, but on him, because of his frame and his physique, it protrudes through, and so it looked like maybe like a sheer, like how we got those sheer muscle shirts and stuff that guys work out with and stuff. It's kind of like that, and I like the fact that they made it that way, because in one instance it looks kind of like a costume, in another instance it looks kind of harkening back to where he came from, that era, and it was well done. Plus, The Rock's body actually did all the work, because they didn't pad him up or anything. That's him, But again, little thoughts that went into making these men become lifelike off the pages. It was well done. I don't think we needed a reboot. I don't have an image ready to go right now, but even Ben Affleck's Batman, he looked good. And I didn't even think I was gonna like Ben Affleck as Batman. And I'll tell you, this is a sidebar, and I know I'm talking a little bit, I'm gonna throw it to you. I just want to say this real quick. When they cast Chris Evans as Captain America, I didn't like it, because I remember him playing Human Torch in the Fox films, and I also remembered him being in rom-coms. So I was like, that dude's too silly. He's not gonna make a good Captain America. Man, Chris Evans knocked it out the park as Steve Rogers.
Sure did.
Now, when it came down to Ben Affleck playing Batman, I was like, Man, Ben Affleck can't play Batman. I remember when he played Daredevil. I hated him as Daredevil and this and that or whatever, right? Man, I saw Ben Affleck playing Bruce Wayne in this movie, Batman versus Superman, and that warehouse scene, and I was like, man, that's the Batman I like right there. He intimidates, he shakes you up, you know, he possibly kill you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. I loved how they depicted Batman in Batman versus Superman. But I was talking a lot. But go ahead, man. Your thoughts on whatever.
Stormy, just move this picture. I'm getting annoyed looking at it, man. Oh man, I'm just so annoyed with that, man. You want to talk about fumbling the Storm? You know what this is? 2 seconds left on the shot clock. And
Scottie Pippen don't want to go back in the game.
Scottie Pippen don't want to go back in. Right? But still in all, that was a win because Tony Kukoc made the shot. But imagine, you know what this is? Michael Jordan in New York off the fast break and blew the dunk with no one there. You remember that?
Yeah.
Now, you know, that's what that was. It was the missed opportunity, man. That was the whole movie in itself, man. Why would you do that? You know, I'm just stuck on there's no respect for the people that actually put money in their pockets. This is Batman versus Superman. They don't respect us as the consumer. They don't respect us as true fanatics of this. You know, you gotta respect us. We're the ones paying for it. These are summer films. Some of these things, I know they want to make it to the point where anybody could just go to the movies and pick up wherever it is and just watch it. But you gotta show respect to the people that's making this famous. You gotta understand the people that were buying these comic books when they were kids in the 60s, they're still around. 60s, 70s, we're not all dead. Some of us are retired and we wanted something to do on a Wednesday. It's like, hey man, I used to watch this comic book character when I was a kid, man. Let me go see what it's about. And you remember buying all those books and now you're like, this ain't the story. What is this? And what's this gay shit? What is this? And you turn us off. So I'm just curious as to what the numbers are going to look like for this Superman. But they don't respect us, Stormy. Now, this Black Adam and Superman thing, I mean, I really don't have anything else to say about that other than it's a missed opportunity. But that sequel could have basically written itself. They fight. They're trying to figure out what's going on with Adam. You know, you bring in Shazam, Captain Marvel over there, and, you know, they work something out. And, you know, he's not a hero. He's not a villain. He's that shade of gray. Just stay off my continent. That sort of thing. But you could have had a summer movie for that with a bunch of pointless action and things blowing up. And that could have been Henry Cavill's last spin as Superman in Black Adam 2. I mean, these are things that people that read the books pay attention to. And it's like, man, you can easily market that. Do you have the numbers in front of you for the Black Adam? Because it didn't tank. Did it tank at the box office? I don't think it tanked, did it?
Let me pull it up real quick. I don't think it didn't make what they wanted it to make.
Right.
Let's see. I'll pull it up real quick. Let's see. It had a budget of 190 to 260 million. It grossed 393.5 worldwide.
Okay. So
it made only a little bit of a profit, but not what they had wanted it to make.
It didn't do that bad. Like, you know, it could have did better, but it wasn't horrible.
But a sequel with Superman should have boosted it a lot.
Bro, I'm so like angry at that, man. I'm so angry at that. They didn't have to. They don't care.
And all I want to say is they want to blame Zack Snyder about the Man of Steel thing, but remember Christopher Nolan was a heavy producer on the Man of Steel film.
Yeah.
They said that they wanted it to be of a darker tone, similar to the Batman films that Christopher Nolan had produced. But get this, when they were going to go the route of BVS, they never considered contacting Christian Bale.
Now, what was the reason behind that?
No, they never reached out to him. He talked about that in the interview. I saw the interview. He said that had they asked him, he would have loved to come back. They didn't even go his way. But guess what? And I'm not undermining what I said about Ben Affleck earlier, because I enjoyed Ben Affleck's version. But could you imagine Christian Bale playing that, who's actually a better actor than Ben Affleck, if you ask me, and who had been the grizzled Batman that was in that story, because he had been Batman for a number of years and was off the scene, remember? And he came back in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
After being away for a duration because of Harvey Dent's death and everything, remember?
Yep.
And then when he supposedly saved Gotham from that bomb, and
he didn't die at the end.
He didn't die. When people thought he died, they made a monument statue and everything. And that detective who said his name was Robin ended up going to the Batcave and everything when Christian Bale had left that information and stuff for him with the GPS monitor. And the film ended with him going into the Batcave and the thing
and everything was opening up.
Listen, check this out though, and I told you this before. If you would have brought Christian Bale back, that would have been the equivalent of bringing Robert Downey Jr. into the other Marvel films,
yes,
like they did, to connect everything. Christian Bale could have been that for DC. You think they wouldn't have made money?
They'd have knocked it out the park. But they leave us freaking hanging, man. Damn.
Check this out. We already saw what I forget the character that what's my man's name? Morgan Freeman played, but he always helped Bruce with tech and stuff, right?
Right.
He gave him the Tumbler, which I think was the best Batmobile.
That was the hottest one.
I love the Tumbler. He's on the roof now, sir.
It's like, wait, what?
Anyway,
best one.
I could imagine him helping Bruce make that armor for himself. And then Bruce trying to challenge Superman in BVS. But I had said when he was supposed to die, taking that bomb out to sea. If you remember how the movie was playing out, Bane and his people had blown up the bridges so you couldn't get out of Gotham, right? It's like when the bomb was supposed to go off, Batman came with the bat chopper or whatever, and he flew that bomb out to sea, and then there was an explosion, and that was it. That we didn't see him no more. But at the same time, in Metropolis, there was a guy who was wandering around saving people and shit. Had saved the people on the oil rig, had saved the girl at the diner, and you know, he was a wanderer, right? He had not yet become Man of Steel. What if he was watching the news because it was on the news. Batman saving Gotham. He's got the nuclear warhead and he's going out to sea with it. What if Cal went across? Because Gotham and Metropolis are supposed to be connected by the bridge and the rivers and stuff. So it's like it's right there next to each other. What if Cal went and saved him, but he wasn't Superman yet? Just like he wasn't on the oil rig when he saved those guys.
He's just some guy.
Just saved them. And then later, Zod and them come to Metropolis and they looking for, you know, and Superman gets into the fight and all of that. And he watching it on the news. And he's like, that's the dude that saved
the guy. Yeah.
He's an alien? Oh no, Alfred, we got to do something about this. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Boom, instant connection. Christian Bale, Henry Cavill. Come on, man. Am I off?
No. Why we got to do all the damn thinking for these guys, man? Come on, man. Oh my God. Is it lazy writing? Like I said, it's lazy writing and it's ego involved. When you bring in a new director, they say, whatever we was doing back then, we ain't doing that no more. Here's what we're doing. And it almost killed, Phase 4 almost killed Marvel. All those writers and all those jokes and all of those broken wrist situations, it almost killed. Stormy, Thor Love and Thunder has to be the worst Marvel movie ever in all the movies that they put out. That one is the absolute worst one. The absolute worst one. I don't want to acknowledge it. You know what? I don't. It's a shitty movie. The worst,
and
man.
What they did to Hulk is despicable because Hulk is the strongest one there is. But they turned him into Smart Hulk, who is not. If you want to say, well, they could give Banner lines of dialogue because he's Smart Hulk. Hulk talks. He talks in broken language, but he talks. He can emote himself. That's what you need with that creature and that beast. But I don't like the fact that they let him get dogged out, the strongest, most fierce character. And they let him. They had him handed his dinner, and he never got his get back. Hell, in Superman 2, when that guy at the diner beat up Clark Kent, when he got his powers back, he went back to that diner and handed that dude his dinner.
Immediately.
And people cheered in the audience. They were like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? They didn't
allow that movie to end without him going to get that get back.
Right.
And this is Superman, the golden star of what? No. He said, no, you know what? I ain't gonna kill him, but I'm gonna embarrass him.
Just like the guy at the diner that was messing with the girl, and he poured the beer on Clark, then hit him in the head with a can and stuff. What you gonna do, tough guy? And Clark just wiped himself off and left out. And he looked over and saw that dude's truck. And when the guy got finished drinking that night, he come outside, his truck was suspended up on telephone poles and everything.
Yes, hell.
That's getting your get back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hulk should have had his get back against Thanos, man. Something.
Missed opportunities, man. Instead, he's running around in that last fight with a baby on.
And they never explained how he got back to normal. By the time he got around to She-Hulk, because at the end of the Shang-Chi, he was still in the thing, in the end credit, post credit thing. He still had the sling. So how he get his arm back?
And now he got his son Scar on there. How they gonna explain that?
Bringing on the child support. Cue up the Scarface. It's a new day.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
All right, man. I know you got to do your pep talk, but give your final thoughts, man. And we tried to. We can still revisit this subject because it's a lot to say. You know,
we can. But yeah, man. Salute to you. Can't wait to see what we talking about next week. There's no such thing as loving this too much, man, because this is a hobby of mine. This is my childhood, and this keeps me young, keeps me fresh. Comic books and drawing and even video games and just having a real childhood is what kept me not in the damn street getting into trouble. And it's relaxing today. And you gotta love social media because it gives us the platform to celebrate something or air out gripes. And this is a big gripe, these missed opportunities. We did the sequels that should have, I don't remember what show that was though. Did we do movies that we could have liked to have seen a sequel to? We did that. I could have swore we did.
Yeah, we did.
All right, I don't remember.
That was like maybe when we said we could be like a part one because there's so many that, you know, we covered a few, but we could always revisit that subject.
Yeah, I'd like to, because I don't remember what we had on the list, but I'd like to do that, man. But salute to you, brother. I'm not doing pep talk tonight. I got to do it tomorrow night, but I got to handle some business back here. Somebody's waving at me. Yeah, but that's dope. I'll be on tomorrow morning. But salute to you, Stormy. And salute to the chat. Y'all make sure y'all smash the like button. And don't forget to plug your Kung Fu channel. That channel is hot in these streets, boy. Hot in these streets.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The Kung Fu Temple and Entertainment channel is really flourishing, man. This is being simulcast over to the Culture and Entertainment channel. So I've managed to, you know, figure out that when we're doing this show, me simulcasting over there automatically puts content over there for, you know. Right. So, you know, there's something up here for more than water, I guess. It's like,
yeah. All right, good brother. I'm gonna get out of here.
All right, man. Appreciate you, bro. Great show, man.
Always, brother.
All right. Peace to you. Good night. Yeah, that's the brother Drew Titan there, helping me out, getting rid of this nerds show where we talked about the Unforgiven. Man, why do they do us like that, family, though? Why do they take that time and put us through the ringer when it comes to source material? I don't understand. But I would love for them to pay attention to what we talk about and what we're asking for, because we don't ask for much. Stick to the source material. That's all we ask, you know. That's all we ask. So with that being said, we're gonna pay some bills here and hear from our family out there, the Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the focus ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the focus ball now.
Yeah. And so with that, we're coming to the end of another Nerds on Culture. This was episode number 127 as we talked about the Unforgiven, DC canceling Black Adam versus Superman as they canceled Green Lantern versus Sinestro, and assortment of other films that we could have received sequels and extended stories for some of our beloved comic graphic characters. So we're going to be on out of here at this time. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Next week, we'll be back with another show. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we appreciate you supporting. We'll see you on the next one.